Hey guys, it's Matt with Fishing Zone. As you can see, we're out here in beautiful Lake Hamilton with our local guide Chris here, who's going to be taking us around, showing us all the good spots. He's got some local intel, so it's pretty handy. We're kind of coming up on these pro fishermen. As you can see, they're just zipping all around us here, and he's kind of going to give us some insight of what they're kind of using to fish, what they're fishing, and the different techniques that they may be using. So it's going to be some pretty interesting stuff. So Chris, while we cruise up on these guys, what do you see happening here?
Looks like he may have found a brush pile here on this point. He's fishing kind of slow, which tells me that he's probably throwing a big worm, which is a very useful technique in the hot summertime. Fish are going to be deeper in these brush piles. Brush piles put off a lot of oxygen, attract bait fish and brim, things like that. The bass are going to feed on this time of year. He's in a pretty good spot. I've fished here myself before, caught a lot of fish here. I think he should probably do well here.
Okay, so that brush pile, is that something that occurs naturally, or is that something that's put in there on purpose?
No, it's put in there on purpose. A lot of the local guys, they spend a lot of time out here sinking these brush piles just so they can better themselves in local tournaments and do better for themselves. And then these guys come and they find them. With today's technology and graphs and stuff, you can't hide a brush pile anymore. They find them. If you put them in the water, they find them pretty quick.
So the whole idea of the brush pile is it creates a nice environment where little fish can hide and also the big fish can hide. And so it's also, you said some of the trees, they use trees, so that's like an high oxygen level, etc.
Correct. A new brush pile, a green brush pile, puts off a ton of oxygen because that tree's still green and it's still producing oxygen like it does while it's still alive. And that makes the bait fish and the brim come in and feed on the algae and the bugs and stuff that are in that tree when it gets sunk. So that generally attracts your bigger fish, your bass and stuff like that. So
that's awesome. So yeah, guys, that's basically, there's a number of different styles that are going on, right? Earlier we were up in Hot Springs Creek, where there's a lot of deep water, a slightly different type of fishing style. And obviously right here, it looks like these guys are working a brush pile. We were just with Reed over here, and he was working it was like a hump, right?
It's a hump. Yeah, it's a deep water all the way around. It comes up shallow. It comes from like 20 foot to 10 foot. And what he was doing was bouncing a worm across the top of that shallow hump.
So why is that shallow hump? Do the fish like to nest on there? Is it just because it?
Well, what they're doing is there's a ton of bait fish out here in this area, on this flat. And what they're doing is they're pushing that bait fish up into that shallow water where they can ambush them. And the bait fish are easier to attack when it's in a smaller body of water. They can't run from them. So it allows them to trap them up there. And what he's doing is trying to catch them fish that are chasing them by having a bait that simulates a wounded bait fish.
All right, guys, well, you heard it there. We're going to be cruising around with Chris, and he's going to be giving us some of the local intel because he's fished this lake pretty much his whole life. So he's going to be taking us around, kind of giving us the lowdown of what's actually going on, which is going to be pretty exciting. So stay tuned. We'll bring you more stuff from Lake Hamilton and the FLW Forest Wood Cup. Thanks.